This lesson is designed differently than the previous lessons you've done in that I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do step by step. I'm going to give you requirements and you are going to find ways to fill them. So this lesson, this assignment, in this video, you will watch how to do all the different features. There are some new features you're going to learn and you have to incorporate them in, but the subject that you matter that you're doing it about is completely up to you. So there's three more main categories of what we're going to learn in this section. First, you're going to learn how to create your own backgrounds. And then the next section is inserting video and audio and learning how to edit video and audio right there inside the program. We're going to learn how to make automatic timing. So we're going to make your slideshow run completely on its own without any clicking. And then there's also just some random extra things at the end that we just haven't got to yet that are general advanced features that we just haven't covered yet. And those may or may not appear in your actual PowerPoint. We need to make sure that you watch the video and you understand them because they could be on the MOS test. So we're going to talk about what's required for lesson 3 because the hardest thing is going to be finding your subject. So I'm going to be using this PowerPoint to explain what the assignment is. And this is one that I actually did design the background for this. And you might not be able to do exactly that. I did this in Photoshop, not PowerPoint, but you'll be able to design, your own backgrounds to make it look the way you want it to look. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is figure out what you're going to make your subject. What are you going to do for your subject? Now, as you're choosing your subject, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind because you want to pick something that's going to fit the parameters of this assignment and won't make it really difficult for you to do. So first of all, the slideshow it's going to be automatic. It's going to run without you clicking anywhere, and it's going to have music playing in the background. So so just keep that in mind. It's just going to be running as an automatic slideshow. It's going to include videos from YouTube that you record yourself. So you need to have access to YouTube. We'll talk about what happens if you don't. What I mean by record yourself, you're going to record it off of YouTube. Okay. You will choose the subject to do the PowerPoint on. So you're going to pick your subject. If your YouTube is blocked, so if YouTube is blocked at your school, then you're going to have to do PowerPoint itself as your subject. Okay. And I will explain how to do that in the solution video. I'll go through and that's how I will do it in the solution video. So you can look at that to have you get some help on what to do. And you would just pick 5 to 6 features, and that's what you're going to focus on is explaining to somebody how to use these features in PowerPoint. So here's some requirements for the subject as you're picking it. It's got to be something you can find videos about on YouTube. If you pick something too obscure, something weird, there's got to be somewhere on YouTube that there's already a video that is going to be somewhat useful to explain your subject. You can use them as on every single slide. You can use them just a couple of times. You don't have to have it on every single one, but at least some parts of it needs to be able to, you got to be able to find a video that will work for it. It has steps or subtopics that can be divided into slides. Okay. So for example, in a lesson 2 is actually very similar to what we're going to do here. I said, okay, my subject is natural disasters, and then I divided it into hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, and whatever the last one was, earthquakes, right? And so I had subdivisions. So you want to be thinking like, what's my topic, and then what would I make each subdivision about, each subtopic, what would be in each slide underneath that? It needs to be something that requires very little research from you. I don't want you to waste time learning about this subject. It needs to be something you already pretty much know. So that you don't have to, so it's something you're an expert in. So then for 2 reasons. One, it's going to take you less time because you're not researching. And number 2, it's going to be more fun for you because it's something that you really like. And the next one is it's simple enough to fit on 8 slides. So for example, when I started doing lesson 2 and I started designing it, I originally had like fires in there and floods, and I had a whole bunch of other natural disasters, but it became too big. And so I had to cut those out and just move it down to 4. Just because otherwise it still was pretty big, right? So you want to be thinking about that. Like how can I divide it into 8 slides? And really it's just 6 slides because the first 2 is like your title slide and then an information slide and then 6 slides. You can make it longer if you want, but you can't make it shorter because you also don't want it to have so simple that it can't fill 8 slides. Like you make it so basic that you can't think of 6 things you could do on each slide. You could make smart art, charts, tables about some aspect of it. You don't have to do smart art, charts, or tables, but those are things to fill the space, right? It's like, what am I going to put on each slide? And sometimes it's like, oh, I'll do a smart art, I'll do a chart. So you want to be thinking about that. Is there a chart I could do? You could make smart art, charts, or tables about some aspect. Let's go back a step. Okay, you could make smart art charts or tables about some aspect of it. You are required to make one smart art, one chart, and one table. So you have to be thinking like what in this subject would work. I don't like that either. You could make smart art charts or tables about some aspect of it. One of the requirements is you have to do at least one of these. You have to do at least one smart art, a chart, or a table. You can do all three, but you need to be able to do at least one. So you want to be thinking about what you could use for those things. Okay, now this is a big one. Can be shown and explained without words and not sound. So when you do the YouTube videos, you're not going to have sound. The YouTube videos will be quiet. They'll be silent because everything's playing automatically. Your words are going to explain things. Instead of like what you type in the slide is going to explain stuff, not the actual video. So you want to be thinking about that too. What is a video I can make that I can use that it's something I can show that doesn't require words. So if you're not thoroughly confused already, let me give you some examples or some of what you could do, and then that might help a little bit. So you could do something about your hobbies, your interests. So let's say you're interested in dance. I could have each slide is about a different style of dance. So I've got a hip hop slide and a modern dance slide and a ballroom slide. And then my videos could be like, here's a video of somebody dancing. You don't have to hear the music, but I can see the style of that person dancing, right? Types of video games. I could actually do video of people playing a game. Like this is a strategy game. This is a civilization type building game. This is whatever. Musical instruments. Okay, that one might be hard because it is music and you can't play the sound of the music, but you probably could play the sound over the top. But you could show each instrument, or this is the woodwind section and this is the percussion section. So how could I divide that out? Favorite vacation spots? Hawaii. I have a slide on Hawaii. I have a slide on Mexico. I have a slide on Disney World or something like that. And then again, it wouldn't be too hard to find silent videos that kind of show what it looks like in the park or something. Favorite basketball players. Here's a slide on LeBron James. Here's a slide on whoever. And you could show a video of them playing their game, right? World's scariest roller coasters. Each slide is a different roller coaster, right? Now you can do these examples that I've given you. You're welcome to actually create these if you can't think of anything, but there are a million different things that you can do. Okay. That's just the first one. We could look at the school subjects. What are you studying in school right now? And if you're already you have to make a PowerPoint for another class, by all means, like make it right now, make it part of this assignment, right? So maybe parts of the cell, and each slide is a different part of the cell. Ribosomes and mitochondria, whatever. Photosynthesis process, styles of art, plays by Shakespeare. Each slide is a different Shakespearean play. Parts of a computer, animal kingdoms. That might be fun, like an amphibian slide, reptile slide, mammal slide, right? So those are pretty easy. You could also do how-tos. So how to build a computer, how to make origami, how to do stop animation, how to do make macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese might be pretty simple. It might be hard to get that into 6 steps, but how to make snowflakes, the rules of a game you play, like lacrosse, like these are the rules, this is how you play, whatever. So how-tos are really fun. And there's tons of videos online that show you how to, like origami. It would be fun to have each slide as a different type of origami, and you can find a video of somebody making that origami, right? Okay, then you could also do a persuasion one where you're like, why take a certain class? Why join this club or team? Why learn to do a skill? Top reasons why, whatever, something like that. So top 10 reasons or top 5 reasons of something. Why learn Microsoft? So if you wanted to persuade people, I had to make a PowerPoint like this to persuade students to take my class, and we played it in the hallway before registration, right? And it just loops, because that's the other thing, it's going to sit there and loop over and over again. They can just play while people are walking by, and they might stop and look at it, So that's a real world use of how I use this. So you need to kind of decide what you are going to do. Now, if you do the PowerPoint option, this is my suggestion for PowerPoint. You have your slide 1, which is like your title. And then slide 2 is what is PowerPoint, explains it. And then slide 3 is I can just pick each one of these. I just picked different features in PowerPoint, and then I'm just going to show how to do each one. Okay, so we're going to use what's called a record screen in Photoshop or PowerPoint, which allows me to actually record whatever is on my screen in PowerPoint. And so if you don't have YouTube, then you're going to have to record your screen, which is you're in PowerPoint right now. So anyway, so those are some different things you can choose. Take a minute to decide what you want it to be. And the rest of this video, I'm just going to be teaching you all the different things you can do. I'm going to be teaching you the features. I'm not going to be showing you how to actually make the assignment. But if you watch the solution video will actually have several examples. So I will go through and make like 2 or 3 of them on different topics, and you can see how they're done. And one of them will be PowerPoint, which is this option, right? And so if you have to do the PowerPoint version, the solution video is going to be particularly helpful to you. It will kind of outline it for you. But I encourage you to do something original and different and fun, because this is kind of a fun assignment and I want you to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and get started with the Slide Master and learning how to design your own custom backgrounds. So I'm going to create a blank slide. And I'm going to go in here to View and to Slide Master. Now, a couple things about this. Anything you put here will show up on, the very top one will show up on everything. So if you design it here, so you put a big box right here, that's going to show up on every slide. So you don't really want to change this one unless you're absolutely certain that what you're changing, you want it to change on every single slide. Okay. So we're going to start with the title slide. So I usually design at least two backgrounds. I have like the slide that's the typical slide, and then the title background. And you could also design your subtitle if you feel like you're going to use one. You probably won't in this assignment. So we're going to start with our title slide. I'm going to go to right-click and Format Background, and I like to start with kind of a gradient. Also pick your color scheme that you're going to use. That helps a bit. And you can do a solid background. I kind of like to put a little more interest in it by doing a gradient. And then we're going to insert a shape, and I usually do one of these three shapes in general. So let's do this one, and I'm going to make it like this big, or I think this one I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to have it go up like this. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of the outline. I hate the outline. I'll just get rid of it. Okay, maybe add a bevel to it, whatever. Okay, and oops. I'll add another shape that's just I'll do another one that looks like this. Send it to back. And I'm literally just making this up as I go. I didn't really plan this ahead. Maybe I'll have it go all the way across. Kind of like that. I'm going to change that shape to a square and keep it across. And again, get rid of the outline, change the color. Okay, so now I'm going to make my master. I'm going to send this to back. So send it back, and I'm going to send this one back. Maybe I'll have that go all the way across. Cool. And then I'll add a gradient to it to make it a little bit more interesting. You don't want to be too obnoxious. If you are, it's going to overdo it. You don't want to overdo it. This is already a little obnoxious for me, but oh well. Let me change the direction. Okay, so then I want to make sure my title is in the way I want it to be. So I'm going to put the title here. And then my subtitle, I think I'm going to actually have right here. So you can design this again however you want to design it. This is just me showing you one of many ways to do it. You can do mine exactly the same way. If you're not very good at this kind of thing and this is something you don't like to do, then you can just make yours look like mine. That's fine. But, you know, adding shadows and stuff can really make a difference. You know, just give it some depth or whatever. I like to add smaller shapes like another line just to give it, again, some depth. And I don't want to send this to back. I just want to send it back one level. So then I would just do send to back, right? And then let's do a color for it. Looks like it went too far back though, so let's bring it forward a little bit. There we go. So getting them in the right order can always be a bit tricky. Sure, why not? We'll do black. All right, so once you have your style the way you want it, okay, I'm going to go ahead and change my fonts. I'm just going to pick one I've already got designed because I don't want to take the time, but remember you can go to customize fonts and pick what you want. So there's my title, and now I need to design this page. So I'm going to do another gradient, and this time I'm going to make it a little less obvious, okay? And let's do a shape here. You have to think about where the title is going to go and how you want it to look with that. And then I'm gonna, sometimes I just steal elements from the one I already made so that I kind of follow up and make it look the same. Okay, and this is, I'm really not spending a lot of time thinking this over because I'd probably make it look a lot better if I had the time to really put some thought into it. So make yours look better than mine, but whatever. Okay, so once I have the style the way that I want it, I'm happy with it. Now I've designed these two, but all of these don't have designs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Home, and I'm going to Format Paint, double click and Format Paint all of these backgrounds the same. And I could do this, if I want them all to be the same, I could do this one like that, right? So but if I were to take this right here and copy it here, now it shows up on my title, which isn't necessarily what I want. So this one goes on every single slide, so you have to think about that before you just randomly paste stuff there. So instead, I'm just going to copy and paste this on every slide so that I have the freedom to make changes later if I want to. Okay, so I'm good to go. There's my title, and I'm going to go ahead and close that. Oh, before that we do that, we're going to make a custom layout. So I'm going to do one that's, you got a 2 content, I'm going to create a 3 content. So I'm just going to right click and do Insert New Layout or Insert Layout. And I'm going to maybe just copy and paste what this one is. Or actually no, I'll just go in here and do Slide Master and do, where'd it go? Insert Placeholder. We're going to do a content here. And then I'm just going to copy and paste that here. And then copy and paste that here. And I actually got really lucky on my sizing that it was pretty close to even. Okay, so there's my 3 content, and it needs to have this stuff too, so I'm going to paste that over here and send it back. Okay, so that's set to go, and I'm going to name it. So this is my 3 content, so I'm going to right click and go Rename Layout and call it 3 Content. I may or may not use this, but for the assignment you need to design an original, okay? Alright, so now that we're out of there, let's add a couple of new slides so we have some stuff to work with. Now, in this section, once you've gotten to this point in your assignment, you're just going to start putting in your content, and that is kind of on you, how you're going to do your content. I have 2 different solution videos you can look at. One is all about PowerPoint, so if you don't have YouTube or you can't think of anything to do or you just don't have any interest, and you just want to do the quickest, easiest way, you can just do the PowerPoint one. You can literally copy exactly the way I do it or kind of edit it to make it fit you. But the content and what you put on each slide is up to you. In your assignment, you have a checklist of all the things it needs to have. It has to be 8 slides, has to have one of these. This is all the stuff. So you want to be thinking about it a little bit, like what am I going to put on each slide? But again, that's on you. Right now, I want you to take that time to kind of start entering some of your content that you're going to be using. Keeping in mind that you have to have what am I going to do? One of these, all of these, what images am I going to use? It has to have at least 2 objects, so there has to be at least writing in a picture or shapes in a video or a screenshot and an icon. There has to be something on at least 2 on every single slide. So start kind of putting that together. You also have to do triggers, so you want to be thinking, what can I do that I can click on a button to trigger something? And so be thinking about that as well as you're starting to prepare this. I want to do mine on something really dumb because if I do something good, you might copy me. So I'm going to do this example as I'm showing you on how to cook eggs. This is so stupid. Nobody would ever pick that. So ways to cook eggs, right? And then my subtitle is by Megan Reese, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of decide what goes on each slide. You know, usually your first slide is like an intro to eggs or something. Or you might be saying kind of what we're going to do. In this presentation, we will learn okay, so I came up with this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a slide on scrambled, a slide for each one of these: scrambled, fried, eggs, poached, hard-boiled, and I have to have 8 slides. So I want to be thinking about that. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves me my 8th slide, which is fine. I can probably do something else on that slide. Maybe that's where I would put my chart or something like that doesn't quite fit elsewhere. So now I kind of know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to type in fried and scrambled. Oh, I think it did Eggs Benedict on this one. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet. I'm going to probably put in a graph, or I'm going to do one of those, the Smart Art, the graph or the chart or something. It's probably going to go on the slide. I don't know it yet. I'll have to think about that. All right, so now that I have those, I can go ahead and start designing what I'm going to do. Now I've decided that I want to have like my writing here, and then I want a picture of what the eggs look like, and then I want a video here. So I'm actually going to go back, now that I kind of know what I want, I'm going to go back into my Slide Master, and maybe I'll redesign this one, right, to do what I want it to do. So there's going to be my text, and then I'm going to have my video here. Right, and then so then it's kind of already designed, so I have somewhere, I know exactly where I'm going to put everything. So now I have that designed, I can choose it from my layout, so I'm going to do that one. And I want them all to be like that. In fact, I'm going to hold down the Control key and click them all and change the layout to that, so now they're all changed to that layout, right? So now it's pretty easy to come in here and go grab a picture and a video or whatever that I'm going to put in here. So now if you've got online pictures, that should be pretty easy. I can just do fried egg, find a picture pretty easily. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and insert that. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of that. Sorry, I don't want to do that. All right, and then I'm going to do my video in just a second, but now I've got that one inserted, right? And then let's go to scrambled. I can do the same thing. By the way, if you add the word transparent after it, it will only find images that are transparent. So these are all kind of weird. I don't know if any of them are, oh, I should have done omelet. That would have been a good one. We'll insert that. I'm going to change this to omelet because I like omelet better. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to make this a lot bigger. Okay, if you're searching online, when you're searching for pictures, so let's say now I'm looking for Eggs Benedict, maybe you can't do online pictures like I just did, so if you're searching the other way, you can go to Tools, go to Images, and then go to Tools, and then Color, and choose Transparent, and it will just find pictures that are a transparent background. So now I've got this one that, you know, it's transparent if it has the checkerboard, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that image, and I'm going to come over here and put it here. So it didn't actually go into my little text box, but that's okay. There's my Eggs Benedict. Looks like that's obnoxious. I'm going to crop that down. Okay, so I've got my Eggs Benedict and so forth. Okay, so now I've got a picture on each slide. And remember, with alternative text, if you insert pictures, you want to right click and go to Edit Alt Text. This is the kind of thing that in real life I have never used, but is always on the MOS test. I've seen it on Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. They just love, love, love to make you do this. So make sure you practice, you know how to add your alternative text to each one. And it's supposed to be there so that if there's someone with a disability, they can know what the picture is of, even if they can't see it. I don't know. That's what it's supposed to be for. Okay, so that's how you would do that with each one. I'm not going to do that on video. All right, and then I'm going to add my information. So for the information, if you already know it, just type it in. I'm literally, personally, I don't actually know a lot about poached eggs, so I'm just going to Google and, that's good, that's nice, and just finding information and using that. Like, I'm literally pasting it from the internet. I'm not all that, this is not an assignment where I care about all that much about where your content comes from. I care more about the way you've set it up, so it's fine. If you want to get stuff from the internet, I'm cool with that. All right, hard boiled. Okay, so now I've got all of my content in here, and that again is going to be on you to get that done. It's one of those things that I can't show you, that's just going to take you some time. So the next thing is, what am I going to do for my video? So this is the part where I want to talk to you a little bit about Photoshop, about YouTube. You are going to be recording directly off of YouTube. Technically, that's breaking copyright, okay? The reason we can do it is because, first of all, this is for a personal use. You're not putting this anywhere out there. You're going to make sure that you cite wherever you find your YouTube videos from, and you're doing it to teach a concept, so you're doing it under fair use. But just know that there are laws about recording off of YouTube, so be careful about how you use it. But again, this is just for an assignment that you're just turning in, so you'll be okay. But don't use this in a way that would be breaking copyright, in a way that would get the law after you. So just be prepared on that. So I'm going to do how to fry eggs. And I'm sure somewhere there's a video that's going to show you the way to fry an egg. So I'm just going to go ahead and find one of those videos. I might want to find something kind of short. But once I click on the video and I get past the ad, you're going to want to make sure it's muted because you're not going to be using any sound for this, okay? And then you might want to already right now take the URL, copy that, come back over here, and in your notes section, paste the link so that you are citing where you got the video from. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and go to make sure you've got your recording on. So if you don't have this on, you can do it but right here and screen recording, but it's a lot better if you have the recording tab. So you're just going to want to go to File, and then go to Options, and go to Customize Ribbon, and turn on the recording button there. And then all the stuff's in one place, which is a lot easier to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on, now notice there's two. There's Record Slideshow, which literally records the slideshow and makes a movie out of it. We're not going to actually learn how to do that, but you're welcome to play with it. We're going to do screen recording. So when I click on screen recording, it wants me to draw where my spot's going to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is select my area, and I'm just going to draw it there. Okay, and then I need to get my video. Sorry, I have two screens. So I need to get my video and put it over here. I might actually want to reselect the area because now I kind of know where I want it. So I'm going to stick it about right there. Okay, and then I'm going to push record. And it's okay if you need to push play and stuff. You can remove stuff later. I'm going to go ahead and push play. And it looks like we're back into a video. I can cut all this later. You can't cut the middle, but you can cut the beginning and the end. You might want to take time before you start recording to know exactly what you're going to show in the video. This video is 2-3 minutes long. I don't want to show the whole video. So I'm just going to go through and find just the one little spot that I want to do, maybe like right there. Okay, and I'm going to play that moment. Okay, and maybe I might want to show the whole thing. I'm just going to pause it right there, and I'm going to stop. Okay, it's okay if it doesn't have the whole video. I don't want to spend forever on that. Notice that now when I'm in here, it's like it's a little video right here. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and push play. The whole video's there. And it looks like there was recording me talking, so that's great. You might want to be quiet while you do it. So anyway, we're going to go to playback, which only shows when you have the video hit. We're going to go to trim video, and we're going to actually trim all the stuff we didn't want. So I'm going to trim ahead to about right there. And then I'm going to end it right there. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to click OK. And if you have talking during yours like I do, you can always go to volume and do mute, so you can make sure that it doesn't have any video playing. But there it is. Oh, it looks like I actually need to trim it a little bit more. So you want to kind of play it and make sure that you're getting it in the right spot right there. Okay, so now I have my video. So that's good, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with omelets. And again, you only have to have 3 videos in here, so don't feel like you have to have a video on every single slide. You don't. I guess hold the omelet around. Look at that. Maybe that looked weird. So you can do maybe a graph here or a chart, or make that one look different. You can totally change it to be what you want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got this kind of where I want it for the omelet video. I'm going to go to recording, and so I kind of like to do it within here because then I have the ability to set it up how I want. And again, if you don't like your area, you can just select area again, redraw it. Okay, and then record. Is not how I flip omelets. I guess I've been doing it wrong. Okay, so I'm good. I'm going to push stop, and let's go ahead and copy this URL. Okay, and we're going to put that in our notes. There's my video. I'm going to go to playback, and I'm going to trim it again. Now, one thing you can also do with your video that looks really nice, I'm going to go back. I think I did quite a bit right there. That's where I wanted to start. Okay. Is you can add, so I'm going to make it mute, you can also add a fade in and a fade out. I think the fade out looks nice, but you have to do at least 2 to 3 seconds or else you won't really be able to see it. So a fade out will actually, it'll at the end it kind of fades it right out and it looks really nice. So feel free to add a fade out. In fact, I want you to add a fade out to at least one of them. So for example, I don't want to find a video. I'm going to do a video down here. I don't want this one to be a video. So I'm just going to do the ingredients here. So I'm going to do 8 pieces of bacon, 2 tablespoons parsley, 4 eggs. So it is, you can put something else there. And oops. So there's that. And I can also, I'm going to go ahead and actually convert that to SmartArt, and then I've got my SmartArt out of the way, right? Like that's pretty easy to do. I could even do pictures for that and put a picture of each thing. I mean, there's so many options. I picked such a dumb thing, and I'm totally able to pull it off. Like it's so fun how you can just pick literally anything and turn it in. So I could do this and then actually go find a picture of each thing. I'm not going to bother though. That seems like an awful lot of work, but it would be cool. But for an example, it's not really worth my time. But anyway, I'm going to do just the list like that. That looks good. Looks a lot better than if I had just listed it. You know what I mean? And then maybe I can pull this in so it's not so long and change the color scheme. And there we go. Okay, so that's an example of doing something other than a video. I don't need to have more than 3. Let's go ahead and do poach. Poach is weird, so I want to do a video to show how to poach an egg because I honestly have no idea how. Okay, so I went ahead and filled in all of these. I did a video for the poached eggs. I found a little thing on a picture online that showed that. So I have my 3 videos ready to go. I've done my SmartArt, and it's a really good idea to keep pulling over your document and just checking to make sure that you've done everything. Like you want to look at it and be like, okay, it's 8 slides. It does include at least one of those things. Has 3 videos. Does it have objects? I might want to count that. I still haven't said what my last slide is. I got to figure that out still. Your PowerPoint must, and again, if I can't think of anything, I can always add another type of, I could add scrambled eggs to that if I can't think of anything. But uses each animation type. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done a trigger yet. So I can kind of look at this and be like, okay, what else do I need to do? So the next thing I'm going to do is a trigger. I had a really fun idea for what I'm going to do for a trigger. So I'm going to actually paste some pictures of some eggs here. I'm going to put those there. And let me crop them down a little bit. Okay, so I have these eggs. Oh, I don't want to crop them down. Just kidding. I want to keep the background on that. So I'm going to undo and not do that. Okay, so there's my eggs. Maybe I'll make them a little smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to animate this picture. So I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to do, let's see what's in here. Dissolve in. I like that idea. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to dissolve that in. And then this is going to be my trigger. Okay, so I'm going to go to my animation pane. Okay, get rid of that. And I'm going to add, so again, I don't want to animate this, I want to animate this picture. So I went ahead and did that. Okay, so it's right there. So I'm going to add a trigger on click of, and then it's going to, I think it's picture 2. I didn't name it, I didn't take the time to name it. So I want it to be set so that when I click on the eggs, it does that, right? But the problem is I want the eggs to disappear, right? So I'm going to add an exit animation on those. And I think if I put it on the trigger right here, we do start after previous. Let's see if that works. Okay, so now I click and they go away. Okay, or maybe I should do it before previous. I don't know, or with previous. Probably looks better. So you just kind of test it out, play with it. There we go. So now when I click on it, I turn those eggs into that, right? So there's my trigger. I'm going to go ahead and do that trigger on every one of these pages. I'm going to copy that and paste, and paste, and paste. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for each trigger. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is learn how to loop it continuously. So I'm going to go to slideshow, and I'm going to go to set up slideshow, and I'm just going to check the box that says loop continuously. So you want to set that. Still haven't done my lesson, my 8th one, so I'm going to do a graph here, and I'm going to make up information. You are welcome to make up information. I don't care about real data. You could look up real data if you wanted to, but that's not really the point of the assignment. So I'm going to pretend that I did a poll, and I asked people what their favorite kind of eggs were, and this is the results of my poll. Okay, so again, it's fine if you make up information, because the point of this is not, unless you're doing this for another assignment, that's not really the point of the assignment. So I'm going to do fried, omelet, eggs Benedict, poached, hard-boiled. So I'm just assuming that I did a little poll, and this is, 20 people wanted that, and 17 said that, and 4 said that, and 1 said poached because nobody eats poached eggs. And it's my neck of woods, they don't. Okay, so there I have my results. I'm going to move this over, and now I've created myself a little graph, right? So I could say, I'm just going to pretend that I asked the class. All right, so there's my little poll, and I was able to get a graph in like I was hoping to. And I could just leave it the whole slide like that, or I can come into Chart Tools and kind of make it look better, whatever I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to give her that. So now I have all 8 slides done. Before I set my animations, we're going to get into animations in a second, I need to do my transitions first. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to transitions, and I'm going to choose a transition, and I would pick something really basic. As I said in the video, please do not, there are certain ones in here that are really obnoxious, like origami and airplane, fracture. Some of them are just really annoying. I would pick something really basic and then do apply to all. And so now all of them have an animation in between. Okay, and you really want to do that before, like set your animations or your transitions before you do your rehearse timings, or else it's going to be difficult at the end. All right, we're now ready to go ahead and rehearse our timings. And what rehearse timings does is it basically lets you run the PowerPoint and say how long you want it to go. Because remember, we want this to be automatic. I don't want to have to click ever. I want to be able to open the PowerPoint and it just runs. I don't have to click or do anything. Okay, so I'm going to go to slideshow. And I'm going to go to rehearse timings right here. And it's basically just going to run the show. Notice it has a timer up here, tells me how many minutes it is, how many seconds. So I'm going to click now to say, okay, after 2 seconds I want it to click. I'm going to give people time to kind of read this. I probably would have made this look better, added some pictures or something, but I didn't get to it. Okay, I click on this, and now if I have a video, I can go ahead and click on that inside, right? If I have a video, you have to wait for the entire video to play. You got to play the whole video from start to finish, because you are kind of timing this to see how long it's going to take. Okay, so once you're done with the video, once it stops, I can go to the next one, and then I can click here. Notice the video's playing automatically, which is great. And there I am flipping an omelet. Okay, the video's done, I think. Oh, did you see how it faded? There's the fade that we put in. Okay, and then here's this one. Now this one doesn't have a video, so I just want to give people kind of time to read it over and see what they think or whatever. And then I'm going to go to the next one. This one has a pretty long video, so I'm going to have to wait, watch the whole video. Now note that you're not recording anything, so you're not recording my voice, you're not recording a video at all. You're just setting how long each slide needs to be before it will go to the next slide. So it's really, so if you mess up, just escape out of it and try it again, but you want to make sure that it's exactly the way you want it. So this video was a bit longer. Can only go so short on poaching eggs apparently. I haven't found a way that you can cut the middle of the video. You can trim the 2 ends, but you can't really cut the middle. Otherwise I would have cut the middle out of this, but could not see a way to do that. So now we're going to watch him pull out these creepy looking weird eggs. I don't know why anybody eats poached eggs. Maybe they're good. I don't know. They look creepy to me. Okay, so that finished, and now I can go to the next slide and give it some time, whatever, how many seconds do I want it to be. And I have my last slide. Okay, so when I'm done, the thing you want to pay attention to, so notice that it did a loop. I'm going to escape, and it said total time for your slide was 1:52. That matters. Okay, pay attention to that. That's how long it takes to watch it from start to finish, and it should be pretty short. Okay, you don't want it to be more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes long. So I'm going to click yes. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add sound to it. So now if I push F5 and just watch it, it's going to go. It's going to do everything I just did. I'm not clicking at all. It is running automatically right now. Okay, I don't have to click. I just set all the timings and it did it all for me. Okay, it's even going to do the buttons that I push. Like it'll do that one as well. Even the triggers are going to go. So that's what the automatic timings does. Now we want to add music to go in the background. So we're going to go to Insert and do Audio. Make sure you're on your first slide. Okay. Insert Audio and Audio from my PC. Now in your document, I gave you a bunch of music. This is just royalty-free music I got. So you're just going to grab the one that you want. Okay. I'm going to pull it off. I don't really want it to show. Okay. And then I'm going to play across slides. And I'm going to fade it in. So I'm going to do a 3-second fade in and a 3-second fade out, and then I have to trim it. I know it's going to be, it was like a minute, oh crap, now I don't remember, it was like 1:56 or something. Give it a little extra time. I'd say just like, you know, maybe 2 seconds more. I'm going to do it in even 2 minutes or so. Okay, I'm going to click OK, so I've trimmed that and I faded it. Okay, so now when I go to play it, the music is working and playing and everything's running on its own. Okay? All right, a couple more things and we're going to be done here. The next thing is we're going to save this as a show file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I haven't actually saved this yet. So I want to save it first as a regular PowerPoint, okay? Because then if I want to edit it, I can. And then I'm going to save it as a show file. So you should be saving it twice. And then there's my show file. And the difference between the two, let me show you what it does. So if I go to my examples, which is where I just put this, and I've got regular ways to cook eggs, and then this is the show file. If I just click on the show file, it just plays. It doesn't, whereas the other one, it will open PowerPoint first. If I did this, it would just literally open PowerPoint, and then I have to start it. So show file just makes it run like a video. All right, there's a couple of extra things in this assignment that we just haven't gotten to, that I haven't taught you anywhere else, that you may not actually use, but you need to go through this video, make sure you know how to do it. Clear formatting, we've done this in Word and Excel, but I just have never had a chance to use it. If you do click on this, that's going to clear your formatting. So let's say I make this color and I make it big or whatever. If I click on this and I do this, it's going to clear it back to what it was originally. Okay, so that's clear formatting. It's in Excel and Word as well. Another one that we haven't done is hide and unhide slides. You can right click and you can hide a slide, and then you can right click and so this one's hidden. See how it's got a little cross through it? And then you can just check it again to unhide it. So if there's certain slides you don't want to show, that only show for certain reasons or whatever, you can hide certain slides. The next one is the inspect document. So again, this is the kind of thing that I would never use in real life, but they always put on the MOS test, which is when you go to File and you want to go to Info, and then go to Check for Issues, which is, it'll actually let you inspect. You can also check accessibility. It may ask you for that on the test as well. So I'm going to inspect the document, say yes, it'll check, it'll tell you what to inspect, you can inspect it, whatnot, fix what needs to be fixed. The other one is to add document properties. Again, something I never use, but they always test it on the test. So you go to properties and you can type in, I think right in here, you can type in some tags. You can also go to properties, advanced properties, and you can put in, what your title is, my company, whatever, and I click OK, and there it is, right? So that will actually put it in your properties. So again, those are the kinds of things that they might throw in there that you might not know how to do. The last thing is modify handouts master. Again, something that I had no idea what this was until I took the test, and it was on the test. So that's why I'm showing you how to do it. And that means you go to View, and right by Slide Master, there's a Handout Master. And this is something you would be handing to other people, and you can change the slide size. You can change if it has a footer or a header. Change the fonts, background styles, whatnot. Again, it's just orientation. So then when you print it, it's how many slides per page it's going to be. So this is just makes it so that when you print the handouts to hand people, you get to decide what those handouts look like. So that's what the Handout Master is. And there may be a question on that. Okay, so you are done. I hope you can find a good subject. I mean, if I can do it on eggs, you can do it on just about anything. So hopefully you'll have a lot of fun with this. Do something really fun and cool. I've seen some great things over the years that kids come up with. I'd love to see what you're able to do. And thank you so much. Have a good day.